We were going to talk whose stock is rising and whose stock is dropping in Eagles training camp. But I kind of feel like the trade Howie Roseman made late last night kind of tells us about one or two people whose stock is dropping. It explains something. So we're going to talk Eagles training camp. I'm going to talk Dallas Goedert today a little bit as well. And Kyle Schwarber now on pace for 58 home runs, which would tie a Phillies record. Man, it's a special season from Kyle Schwarber. Man, they got to find a way to keep this man. Damn, what a night last night at Citizens Bank Park from Kyle Schwarber. Trending in the AM, we are live talking Eagles, Phillies, and anything else you want to in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter, and please, wherever you're watching, hit that like and share button. Please subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page, and please vote on our YouTube poll. If you're watching on Twitter, head over to the YouTube poll to vote. Who is your starting cornerback opposite of Quinion Mitchell week 1 of the NFL season, which is 30 days away? Kelee Ringo, Adoree Jackson, newest Eagle, Jacorian Bennett, or other. Please put your votes in. We're going to talk about it. We got lots to talk about, but before we talk, you hit that like button, you hit that share button, and you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. I'm Phil Stiefel, here as always, talking all things trending. And when I set this show up, I was thinking stock up, stock down, as we're a couple days away from the first Eagles preseason game. And we hear Vic Fangio talk. We hear the coaches talk every day, the players, who's rising, who's falling. And then late last night, around 9 o'clock, news drops that the Eagles and Howie Roseman have traded Thomas Booker IV to the Raiders for Jacorian Bennett, cornerback, 2023 draft class. Smaller guy, 5'11", 188 pounds. Plays majority of his snaps on the outside. And after listening to the whole day of training camp, Vic Fangio talking about Ringo and Jackson, not just yesterday, but for the last couple of weeks, really makes you believe that they were not too happy with what Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson were doing on the outside. You don't make a move of a guy of Thomas Booker, who is a nice young player, for another cornerback at this point, unless you are bringing him in to compete with Ringo and Jackson for a starting job. This is now the 5th year in a row Howie Roseman has made a trade in August. He did last year. He got Jihaad in August. The year before that, Albert Jalen Reagor, he traded away. He traded for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in 22. He traded Amadi for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. He traded away Matt Pryor. He traded for Gardner Minshew. These are all trades he's made in the month of August. This is his wheeling and dealing. That's why I always say, the team's not done till the team's done. Jacorian Bennett, a very good, strong cornerback, young, was actually drafted one spot ahead of Kelee Ringo in 23 at 104. Ringo was 105. Got hurt, tore his labrum last year, missed the end of the year. But in his 7 or 8 starts last year, he shut down Cortland Sutton, Jamar Chase, Ladd McCluskey. He has some real serious raw talent. And he's only been in the league for 2 years. It's only on the 3rd year of his rookie deal. So what are they telling us? Are they really that unhappy with Ringo and Jackson? Eli Ricks is starting to make some plays. Are we going to see a shakeup in the secondary? And there's plenty of time left in training camp for someone like Jacorian Bennett to pick up Vic Fangio and what he wants. It's really interesting. We're going to talk about Kyle Schwarber and the Phillies' big win last night as well, but right to the comments here. Howie quietly makes an under-the-radar excellent trade. Bennett is a really good young talent. Absolutely agree with you on that, Rick. And you know what? Thomas Booker, Nice young player as well, a little bit older, but still a nice young player. But obviously they like enough of what they're seeing in Gabe Hall in training camp that they can move on. And the Raiders were desperate because of the Christian Wilkins situation to get a defensive tackle there. So maybe Howie kind of stole something here. It's interesting. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well this morning. Timmy boy, how you doing? Bennett seems to be good. I don't know why people take Howie calls. Exactly. I don't know. I kind of feel like on paper, the initial, feeling on this trade is that Howie won it. You're getting a second-year cornerback who's a starter for a rotational defensive tackle. Seems like Howie may have fleeced the Raiders a little bit. This trade didn't just happen yesterday. Howie's always ahead of people. It's true. It's true. Good morning, Bruce. How you doing? Hope you're well. Go Birds. Go Phillies. Bennett has great speed, 4.340. He does. He's a little small. A little concerned about the torn labrum from last year, but the trade would only happen if he was healthy and clear. Kelee Ringo, I want Kelee Ringo to be good. I want Kelee Ringo to succeed. But when you cannot separate yourself from Adoree Jackson, someone that Vic Fangio has said he didn't even want here, that tells me that there is a serious issue there at cornerback. Now, I don't think this is the only move Howie's going to make. I think there's going to be more coming. But I think you got some great value out of trading Thomas Booker for Jacorian Bennett. Some great value there. Phil, did you see the Phillies won? Absolutely saw the Phillies won. Kyle Schwarber, MVP season he's having right now. Kyle Schwarber is doing something that rarely happens in Philadelphia. I mean, he's having a special type season right now, and you love to see it. Eagles are telling us they needed some depth at cornerback, and they got it. Defensive tackle had a little bit more depth. Yeah, you have Gabe Hall. You've got Ty Robinson. You've got people there for the rotation behind Ojomo, Davis, and Carter. It also tells me that they're confident that Ojomo and Davis can take those next steps in their playing career. Thomas Booker wasn't even on my initial 53-man roster. He was one of the odd men out on the numbers game. So I think they got phenomenal value there. Bennett is excellent, talented, and it tells you what Vic and Howie saw in the cornerback battle. Absolutely. They said it yesterday again, that it's still too close to call. They wanted one of these guys to separate. They wanted their draft pick, Kelee Ringo, to separate from the pack, and he didn't. So that's something that, I see out of that. I hope this signing either tells the rest of the cornerback room fighting for the spot to step it up, should make for a great preseason positional battle. Absolutely. I can't expect Jacorian Bennett to play on Thursday, which means Ringo and Jackson are going to play a lot, and be playing for their jobs, at least as a starter. I think the plan all along was for Adoree Jackson to be the backup depth guy, the Isaiah Rodgers of last year. But he was being forced into a position to try to win that job because Kelee Ringo just couldn't. With Fangio and Stoutland, the team is set up to develop while having a good team. Yeah, let's not just put it all on Fangio. If you're going to give Stoutland as a positional coach, let's go Christian Parker. Let's go Clint Hurt. Let's give all the linebacker coach. I'm drawing a blank. They got a great team of assistant coaches on this team, the Eagles, for sure. Howie's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Absolutely, Rick. We talk about that all the time. It's crazy. It really is. Who in the cornerback room gets cut when the 53 are announced? That's a tough one, Steve. That's really tough because you find it hard for them to cut Kelee Ringo, but also Adoree Jackson. Eli Ricks has had a couple good days in a row at practice over the last week or so. Mac McWilliams is hurt right now. Maybe Mac McWilliams gets stashed on IR for his rookie year. I don't know at this point. Maybe, they're going to only go with 4 safeties. Maybe they cut Cooper Dejean. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Bennett was the MVP at Duke's Mayo Bowl, so there's that too. I did not see anybody tweet that. Good poll right there. I couldn't even have told you he went to Duke. I wrote down his size and his draft spot, but that was it. Interesting. The guy's got talent. He's young. He's raw. Small, but he's got talent. And I'm curious to see what Christian Parker could do with him. I feel Schwarber is our MVP and probably could be the MVP of the NL too. Absolutely should be. the MVP, at least in consideration in the National League MVP, Bruce. 40 home runs after 2 more last night, up to 94 RBIs after he had 7 RBIs last. He had 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. And he also got a single last night. His OPS is almost at 1. It's like 980 right now, his OPS. Bruce, I mean, Kyle Schwarber is doing something we haven't seen since Ryan Howard's MVP season. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he went on a tear and got to 60. Like, he's literally having that great of a season. This was a good trade. It was a good trade on both sides. Booker's a good long-term for Vegas. Booker is is a starter given enough reps. Yeah, and obviously the Christian Wilkins thing, Duck. So the Christian Wilkins thing forced their hand to try to go out and find a defensive tackle to fill that void. So it's intriguing. It's interesting. I think the Eagles got better value. They got a young guy that has proven to be a starter. Booker has not proven. I think Booker played less than 170 or 180 snaps last year. There's talent with Booker there, but Booker is a lot more of an unknown than Jacorian Bennett. Bennett, we know can start. He's done it. I mean, he shut down Sutton and Jamar Chase last year. So, I mean, I think I read it. I said somebody tweeted out that he was targeted 11 times by the Rams last year in a game against the Rams, and he gave up 1 completion. So he's another lockdown style corner that's young, that's raw, that's got talent, though. So I think we kind of, on paper, in the beginning, the initial reaction is we kind of won that trade. Bennett is able to stick his nose in to support the run, but he isn't the man cover corner that you would think a 4-3 would get you. More of a zone coverage guy with run support ability. Well, we're going to find out, right? We're going to find out what he's capable of doing. Dukes Mayo is a solid second choice of Mayo, so to be the MVP of that bowl game means legit. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm okay with Kelee Ringo giving himself a shot at becoming Steve Tasker-like. Yeah, I mean, you've talked a lot about him staying on special teams, so maybe that's just what Kelee Ringo is. They will trade Ringo and Ricks. Jackson is the newest acquisition. Maybe. I feel like at least one more trade is going to happen here, for sure. I still think they need help at the edge. I still think they need help at safety, potentially. We'll see. But Howie's never done, Doug. Never done. Bennett was the only quarterback last year with 300-plus snaps and only 0 touchdowns. Less than 5.5 yards per target, less than 70 passer rating when targeted lockdown. I thought I saw his quarterback rating given up was like 85. But maybe we're looking at different places or different specifics. Bobby King, the linebacker coach, of course. I love Bobby King. Bobby King's done phenomenal. But we are very blessed to have a lot of great positional coaches here in Philadelphia. I don't know what you're talking about. Dukes Mayo. I don't even know what Dukes Mayo is until Steven said it. Lost in all is that Schwarber is up to about 260 average, slightly behind Ohtani, but ahead on the other stats. Yeah, I mean, look. Kyle Schwarber should be 1-2 right there in the MVP voting at this point. There's a chance he wins the MVP. There's a chance that was the biggest mistake of the Phillies was not re-signing him in the offseason. His price is going through the roof. Through the roof. If I'm Kyle Schwarber's agent, I think it's Scott Boras. The starting point's 5 years, $200 million. If you're not going to offer 5 years, $200 million, don't even come to the Kyle Schwarber table. You might have been able to get him for 120 before the season. Now you cost yourself 50 to 60 to $80 million. I did see the All-Star game when Schwarber hit 3 home runs and won the game. I feel that proves he is the best. I mean, Schwarber is on another level. I think Schwarber is actually playing above his head a little bit. Not to be negative. This is like, I mean, you look at his career, he's always been great, but he's never been. This is like next level greatness from Kyle Schwarber right now. And we're blessed and honored to see him play like this. I will say there was a few too many runs last night in the Phillies game because I want to see Jhoan Duran in the 9th inning, and they didn't need him. What's up, Michael? How you doing? Will take Campbell a while to learn Vic's system. Vic doesn't let anyone take the field until they know. That's a very fair point. Now, it is early enough in camp where maybe week 4, week 3, what was Cooper Dejean started playing, practicing like week 2 or by the second or third preseason game last year. and he took what? So I think week 6 was actually his, because he missed the first 4 games. The bye was 5. So yeah, week 6 was when Cooper Dejean took the field. So you're fair in saying that. You're right in saying that. But this does still tell me that they're not happy with the Kelee Ringo and Dory Jackson situation. Tells me they probably regret not keeping Isaiah Rodgers. Guys, got a lot of people watching. Make sure you're all hitting that like button, that share button, subscribe button. There's 20 people in the YouTube room. Please, 20 likes. Please vote on the poll question. Who's your starting cornerback opposite of Quinion Mitchell? Right now, Jordan Bennett's winning the poll, but Michael makes a great point here. I think the edge will take care of itself. Safety is still an if. Cornerback just got better, but I think it was functional going into the season with a little depth. I think that's a fair way to say it, but I don't know if edge will take care of itself. I'm a little concerned about Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith got injured. He came back, and now he's injured again after yesterday's practice. J.X. Hunt lost reps on the 1 to Josh Uche. Josh Uche's practicing really well. Ojulari hasn't really done much. Antoine Powell-Ryland hasn't done much. You really got to get a little bit more depth, at least at edge. Safety, Sidney Brown is the starter at safety today, in my opinion. Drew Makuba's still not hitting in practice. They're very, very cautious with him. Drew Makuba might be the starter come week 5 or week 6, but I think Drew Makuba's going to have a hard time becoming the starter to start the season, unless something drastic happens with Sidney Brown. I find it funny how everyone is focused on the defense's weakness on this Eagles team. Yeah, look, we're not weak. It's maybe the team's weakness, but we are not weak on defense. This is still an elite defense with multiple top-tier players. You've got a stud on every level. You got a stud lineman, a stud linebacker, and a stud defensive back on this team. Maybe 2 stud defensive backs on this team. I mean, this defense is elite. This is what makes the Eagles season that's about to happen so special. When we talk about the negatives of this team or weaknesses of the Philadelphia Eagles, we're finding minute little details to pick on. Because realistically, there's no holes on this Eagles team. This Eagles team is pretty special. Bader and Duran got Dave's check bronze, did he? Yeah, well, Bader had a nice home run last night. It was a nice hit. Bader seems like a pretty cool dude, a pretty nice dude. I just don't want the Phillies scoring so many runs. That means I can't see Jhoan and Duran come into the game. We need to pay Schwarber and to make sure he gets the best contract from us, as we love him and he loves Philly. The team loves him. I mean, losing Kyle Schwarber in the offseason will be damn shame. But as I was reminded last night, let's just enjoy the run. They didn't get the job done and sign him before the season. So you know what? At this point, let's just enjoy, because it is a special season we are witnessing from Kyle Schwarber. So let's enjoy it, and then we can bitch and moan about Dave Dombrowski when the season ends. Defense is the strength of this Eagles team. Everybody knows that. I mean, the offense is a pretty strong strength as well, Rick. When you've got the Super Bowl MVP, you got the Offensive Player of the Year, and you got arguably the best wide receiver duo in football, a top 3 or 4 offensive line. I don't know if the offense is the weakness compared to the defense being the strength of this team. I think both are pretty goddamn good. The Phillies, Duran has brought an energy that has made this last weekend feel like the playoffs. They're having fun and playing confidence since the deadline, it feels. Yeah, Duran's energy is not just for the fans. Duran's energy and personality is just as much for the players in the locker room, for sure. Another trade for the Eagles. I mean, it's how he's MO. I already mentioned it. He's made 9 trades in the last 5 years in August. He loves to wheel and deal. Find value on teams' rosters where other teams have weaknesses. That is how he's a specialty. Was Rodgers really about money? Yeah, Nooms, I always ask that because the deal he got, what was it, with the Vikings? It was only like $8 million a year. Like, I really can't fathom that Isaiah Rodgers would let go just because maybe they mismanaged it. Maybe they thought he wouldn't sign right away. Maybe they didn't think he would get what he got offered. And then he just took the first good deal and left. Maybe they told him he'd have to battle with Kelee Ringo. and he didn't want to. He thought he could start, and he's going to start with Minnesota most likely. Like, we talked about it on the show. I thought it was kind of crazy. When the deal was announced, we were like, wow, that's not much at all. How did we not retain him? I don't worry. I never worry. Life's too short. I feel our D will be amazing as how he was built us into a dominating team, and also I feel we can win 12 games or more. Well, we'll get closer to the predictions. We're 30 days away, which means we're about 28 days away from me making my official record prediction. I'm still hovering around that 11 to 12 mark right now. We'll see. We'll see what else the Eagles do. We'll see what they look like in the first preseason, and we'll see what they look like in the joint practice. Phillies will re-sign Schwarber in the offseason. Wouldn't worry about that. Ownership has clearly stated. Well, he wanted to test free agency. He does have Scott Boras. You probably could have gotten him for $120. I would be shocked if he doesn't command $200 million. And I know he's a DH, but god damn, he's playing well. I know, Mitchie Poo, we're at 562. It's funny. I gained 3 yesterday. I got it up to 563 last night. And one of those new subscribers or some subscriber dropped off. So we're at 562. That's why everyone has to hit that like button. Everyone has to share. And if you haven't, you subscribe. Come on. Be live Thursday night for the football game right here on this channel. I feel you're right, and I will keep enjoying it as Schwarber has made the Phillies so much fun to watch. Between Kyle Schwarber, between Jhoan Duran, back in first place, this Phillies team is on a run. Christopher Sanchez, we don't talk enough about how elite he's been pitching this year. I know Noom's brought up the Cole Hamels comparison, which I loved yesterday. The Phillies are having a special last week or two energy-wise that is turning a lot of us negative people, turning our heads around. Why are people blanket assuming Schwarber's out? The CBA is up, and that may complicate the situation financially. That is true. Nobody's assuming he's out. What we're assuming is that they screwed up and are now going to have to spend more money than they previously thought to retain him. That's more what we're talking about. The Eagles defense didn't allow the vaunted Chiefs past the 50-yard line until the end of the third quarter. My point was nobody was calling the Eagles defense a weak. No, absolutely. I know what you're saying. I just don't want to take anything away from the offense either. Let's not give all the credit to the defense. The offense still is pretty goddamn elite as well, Rick. But the defense, and the thing about what makes the defense so special, Rick, is also the age on it. I mean, outside of Double O and Adoree Jackson, everyone's like, your next oldest guy. You got 2 depth pieces that are 29, 30 years old. You got your starting linebacker that's 28. Everybody else is 25 and younger. This defense is so damn young, which means they can only get better. When you're that young, you can continue to get better. Some of them haven't even fully matured as NFL players. Davis, Carter, Ajomo, and Robinson give the Eagles good players in a 3-4 as well as 4-3. Absolutely. And let's not, I mean, I haven't seen much, but I saw a bunch of people after the trade say how Gabe Hall has been impressing in training camp with the 2s and the 3s. So you got a 5th guy there as well. Ojulari hasn't had a great camp yet. More so Uche over Ojulari at this point. Vic Fangio even spoke about him yesterday, basically hinting at he's the number 3 guy on the depth chart at edge at this point. So let's not forget about Uche. You are totally ready for it. Okay. I live in a glass house of emotion. I like to live with my emotions on my sleeve. I wear my emotions openly. I live in the moment, okay? When good happens, I cheer. When bad happens, I cuss. It's just what I am. I feel you will say at least 12 wins when you do the predictions because we are going. No, I just might say 11 just to counter that. Just for you. Just to be that a-hole that I am. Schwarber loves Philly. Just stated that his family spends more time in Philly during the offseason than anywhere else. His kids have grown up here. He's not leaving. Most likely. They're just going to have to pony up big time. Also, Bryce is catching on fire. Bryce Harper's been playing great since about a week before the All-Star break. It's kind of getting swept under the rug how Bryce Harper's kind of turned his season around as well. Nice. Yeah, look. Yeah, we finally, I'm telling you, Jhoan Duran has just stick his energy in my veins. Jhoan Duran, just that excitement, that energy. We haven't seen that kind of energy from players in a while. That maybe not the energy, the vibe that Duran puts out. Feed that into my veins. I love it. The offense is elite and the defense is elite. That's why we're Super Bowl champs. Exactly. That's why we're going to break the 20-plus year curse, win our division back-to-back years, and go on to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Except for 3 players, Barkley is the old man on the main roster at 28. Eagles went from the oldest to one of the youngest, and that's why we're so set for success, Tim. Really. It's pretty special, the roster that Howie's been able to build with the Philadelphia Eagles. It really is. Seth Johnson was a little extra pumped to go up against the team that traded him. You could see it at the end of the game. I won't lie. I once Schwarber hit the grand slam, I turned it off. Finally watching Daredevil, the new Daredevil. So I turned that on and watched a couple more episodes of that with the wife. Phillies let Schwarber go, and this town will riot again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Play pretty much means Castellanos is gone. Yeah, I mean, if you could only keep one, to re-sign Schwarber, you got to get rid of Casty. Cool. Go for it, right? I would not hesitate on that at all, Big Al. Yes, we won 18 NFL games. That's your new name, okay? Yes, we got a new cornerback. Jacorian Bennett from the Raiders for Thomas Booker IV. The bench got subtly stronger by getting Harrison Bader. Absolutely. Howie Roseman just finds value everywhere. I hope you're right. Phillies will be so much better once. No, stop. Good morning, Rolo. It's been a minute. Fans don't quite understand the ripple down effect of bringing in a guy like Duran and how much everyone else's job easier in the bullpen. Oh, we understand it. I don't think people understand the ripple effect it does to the fan base that's been teetering. That's had their, I think it was WIP or the Fanny Packs did a poll like, are you ready to be all in on the Phillies and let your heart be broken if that's the case? And yeah, I am. And that Duran is what pushed me over the edge. While we still have to see Max Kepler start occasionally, I don't have to see Jordan Romano in the 9th inning. And he just brings a vibe. That's special. The new Daredevil is actually really good. We're 4 episodes in. I think Daredevil might be the best suited superhero comic for a TV show. And the casting of Matt Murdock with whatever his name is, / Daredevil, phenomenal. And all the Netflix series, loved everyone he was in. And this one through 4 or 5 episodes, whatever we watched, phenomenal. Love it. Daredevil's perfect for Daredevil as a movie would not work. Also, Ben Affleck as Daredevil didn't work. But Daredevil as a TV show is phenomenal. I watched some golfing show on Apple with Owen Wilson. I haven't seen it. My sister tells me it's a great show. I should watch it. Letting Schwartz go will be killing off Glenn Ray and Daryl Dixon. They didn't kill off Daryl Dixon, did they? Are you spoiling something? Obviously, Glenn, I know that. Daryl Dixon has his own spinoff, doesn't he? Schwarber goes, do we reach Reggie White to the Packers level hysteria? Freddie Defo, what's up, my man? Yes, absolutely. It'd be worse than losing Reggie White at this point because I'm all hyped up. Let me tell you something. I put out a tweet last night after the Grand Slam. The Phillies made a big mistake or whatever, Middleton, whoever, made a mistake by not signing him in the offseason. It's going to cost $200 million, whatever the tweet was. And it blew up. I've got 100 responses on it. Let me tell you something. The amount of Phillies fans that responded to that tweet with, if he wants $200 million, then good riddance. We don't need him here. We don't want him. I'm like, are you kidding? I was living in the moment, all hyped up on adrenaline. So I put out an emotional tweet like that. And the fans said, good, get rid of him. He's at 40 home runs through 112 games, on pace for 58 home runs. And you're saying walk? Let him walk? What the bleepity bleep is wrong with some Phillies fans? When should I start getting the snacks out for the Eagles game? Well, we'll go live. I think I set it up to go live at 7:20. We'll be here on the channel watching the game. No doubt about it. Jacorian Bennett's rookie contract with the Raiders signed in 23. Yep, he's got this year and next year. So you get him for a while, which is great. That Bennett deal, it gets better the more you dig into it. Absolutely. When I see his numbers against individual wide receivers like Cortland Sutton, he was targeted 3 times, only gave up 1 catch. He was targeted 4 times, while guarding Jamar Chase gave up 3 catches, but only for 14 yards. He's a really, really strong, cornerback, who unfortunately got hurt and missed half the season last year. I wish the organization would grow some balls and just call up Justin Crawford. Absolutely. Inject more energy into our veins, right? Let me tell you something. When Justin Crawford gets his debut, I'll be watching. The only show good that Ben Affleck was in is The Accountant. I never even saw The Accountant. Did it? Oh. Who knew? I didn't. Only good Colin Farrell is The Penguin. Okay. Schwarb's leaving would have fans experiencing all 5 stages of grief at once. Do you know what this show would be like the day after he signs elsewhere? My God, you want Negative Phil. Pray that he leaves Philly, because Negative Phil would come through so bad. Experienced 4 championships in a 1-year span, 2 Super Bowls, a World Series. I'm like, how are you doing 4? You're throwing the MLS in there. Gotcha. Yes, because the Union. We can't forget our brothers in Chester, the Philadelphia Union. Daredevil, first 2 and last 2 episodes were directed by the Netflix director, and you could tell next season is going to be awesome. Daredevil is just meant for TV. Plain and simple, and he does a great job with it. You be good at live stream, in my opinion. We're going to do it. We're going to knock it out. We're going to have some fun. Don't do gummies like Draft and Forget. Stop. We need a struggling left-handed relief pitcher to be waived, traded here, and regain his form. Left-handers need it for the postseason, absolutely. And I don't want Luzardo in the pen. I don't think he's got it. Nice to see people finally on board with the Phillies. Like I said, Rick, the post, I think it was WIP's poll yesterday. Are you ready to be all in, even if it means potentially getting your heart broken? After the last 4 or 5 Phillies games, I'm all in. My heart's ready to be broken again. Now, if you asked me that about the Sixers, I'd say no, but that's another subject. Phil, you would like the Accountant movies? Oh, I know I would. I just don't got time to watch more movies and TV shows. The Accountant and The Accountant 2 are really fun movies, nice popcorn flicks. Crawford, Bader, Marsh would be a ridiculous defensive outfield. Yeah. Duck is the man, yeah, of course. Legit question. Who do you start at third base going forward, Bohm or Sosa? Bohm. When Bohm's healthy, Bohm's the starter. I'm very firm on it that Edmundo Sosa, I know he went 3 for 4, is not an everyday player. He's very good in little spurts, but when he has to play 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row, his flaws get exposed. Friday night's game is a perfect example, Rolla. Bader drew a walk on 4 straight pitches, okay? And Sosa comes up, swings at the first pitch way out of the strike zone because he just doesn't know. Then on Saturday or Sunday, I think it was Saturday's game, he was playing second base for Stott. Could not get to 2 balls that Stott would definitely have gotten to. One of them led to a run, okay? Sosa's a great bench player, a great utility player, a great backup. But Sosa cannot be a starter. Now, you might have to start him because Bryce Stott is just unplayable at this point. But Sosa shouldn't be playing every day. It's like the Wooder Dogs don't even exist. They don't. I think they got canceled. No, I'm just kidding. 2 days from Eagles and people still watching baseball asking for a friend. Yes, the Phillies are right in the thick of it. Give it a bad week for the Phillies. Y'all be back to trash them. Absolutely. I ain't doubting that. Sosa better than Stott, bottom line. He's not better defensively than Stott. He's better offensively right now. But when you break it down, when he's playing consistently, that batting average drops a little bit. I hear you, but Bohm doesn't make that play throwing the run around home plate on Sunday night either. It's a tough call. Look, Bohm does obviously have some holes defensively. I think he's gotten much, much better over the years. I think the Phillies in the offseason would have to consider finding something different to do with Bohm or moving on from him. But at this point, with this roster as constructed, when Bohm is ready, you got to put Bohm out there. Notice how the offense really hasn't changed much with Bohm gone. GMs know this. Exactly. Stott is a backup at best. I hate to agree with you, Rick, at least offensively speaking. I really hope Stott's injured. and just playing through an injury. I've been a very big supporter of Stott for a long time. Sosa's WAR is double Bohm's this year. Sosa has a much higher slugging and OPS this year. Yeah, Bohm hasn't had a good year. He had a good little stretch there. He got him busted out of his slump for like, what, a couple weeks. But for the most part, he kind of struggled this year. There's no doubt about that. Nice defensive play by Sosa at home plate the other night. Yeah, I know he had some good plays and some bad plays because he's just exposed as a regular player. Duran this past weekend and Bader's dinger last night have erased my doubts, and I'm all in. Bought tickets to some games last night to watch Duran's walkout live. Those will be the games that he doesn't pitch in, Steven. Your luck, knowing your luck, they'll be the games he does not pitch in. It's a shame, but that's just the way it works, right? That is just the way it works. Oh, well. What is going on here? Anyway. I'm glad all the celebrity dying is over. Hulk, Ozzy, Theo. Yeah, look. Yeah. Obviously. 17 likes on this video so far. We've been pushing over 20 people watching concurrently for a while. No new subscribers. 20 votes on the poll. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button. Please subscribe. So far, our poll question. Who is starting week 1 at cornerback with Quinion Mitchell? Kelee Ringo's at 30%. Dory Jackson, 15%. 50% say new Eagles cornerback Jacorian Bennett, and 5% say other, which I have no idea who the other would be. That would mean another trade incoming for Howie Roseman. TMC, our little Ray, I know exactly. It's so true though. Yep, the YMCA, YMCA. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to do. It doesn't cost you a thing to do it. The number of pitches Stott sees has more postseason value than the regular season. When he wants to, he can extend most at bats to 10 pitches as a 9-hitter. That works just fine. Yeah, and that is definitely a positive. He does take. That's why I always thought he'd make a great leadoff hitter. Obviously, he has struggled massively this year. Well, since the first month of the season ended. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, and his defense. Come playoff time, you can play Sosa. You can rotate Sosa in now. But come playoff time, Bryce and Stott starting every single game come playoff time. Because of his defense, because of the way he sees pitches, for sure. He is, absolutely. 100% Stott's a liability at the plate right now. And that's why I'm so torn on what to do, because I don't think Sosa can do it every day for the rest of the year. That's just my feeling. NFL ticket should be a constitutional right. I don't know what's going on with Red Zone, ESPN buying out Red Zone, whatever it may be. I never really watched Red Zone. My OCD can't handle flipping from game to game. Like, I need to turn one game on, the Eagles when they're on, and when they're not on, somebody else, and just watch one game. My mind cannot handle the bouncing back and forth. Like, I need to focus on one thing. I can't focus on... You notice when you guys change the topics to 9 topics in a show, I can't keep up with the comments. I need focus on one individual thing. Otherwise, I'm screwed. I saw a tweet yesterday saying the Bengals are going to play their starters more this preseason than previous. Would be great for the quarterbacks to get reps versus their ones. Absolutely, that'd be great. I didn't hear that. I fully expect no Eagles ones to start, except for ones in battles. Obviously, Steven, for the Eagles. So, yeah, getting Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson reps against T. Higgins and Jamar Chase on Thursday night would be phenomenal. To get, I would think Trot Jr., Smile Mondin, Jelix Hunt, those guys will start. Ty Robinson will probably start at tackle. Getting those guys some reps. Sidney Brown, Drew Makuba, Reed Blankenship won't play. Quinion and Coop won't play. Every year I have to call around and find someone with an active school email so I can get the Sunday ticket for $100. I like it. I don't get into that stuff. I like to stay focused on one game, and that's it. Stott and Kepler are automatic outs. But yeah, Kepler. I mean, we agree on Stott, right? Hell, even the players agree on Stott, or the coach agrees on Stott. Hence him not starting regularly. But Kepler's still out there. Like, I kind of feel like Max Kepler has a picture of Rob Thompson, John Middleton, and Dave Dombrowski in a circle, doing their thing, and that's why he keeps his job. Right now in the 9-hole, playing second base, who is a better player every day, Stott or Sosa? Every day? Neither of them. I think it's got to be a matchup thing. I guess Sosa's better, but it's by a hair. Except with men on base, Stott is one of the top on the team with runners in scoring position. Huge issue for this team. That is always an issue for this team. That's why I have 3 TVs. I don't want 3 TVs because then I'm looking all over the TVs. No. 1 TV. 1 game. I mean, I got YouTube TV, so I can put the split screen on my TV. Nope. 1 thing on a time. I'm not one of those guys that puts the Phillies game on 1 TV, the Eagles on another, watch golf on my laptop. I need to singularly focus. I can't handle multiple things going on at the same time. I have 2 TVs in the living room. Can't do it. Good morning, Adam. Welcome to the show today. How you doing today? I swear to God, if ESPN ruins my 7 commercial-free hours of football, I'm going to be so pissed. Dude, ESPN does ruin everything, and I see a lot of people complain. See, since I don't use Red Zone regularly, I don't know. But, yes, a lot of people are worried about what Red Zone is going to become. I think Stott is 280 with runners in scoring position, with the conversion rate a little high when considering advanced runner to score and sack flies. Yeah, that sounds way too analytical to me. No, I have plenty of TVs. I go 1, 2, 3. I have 4 TVs in my house. I don't need any more. But they stay on one thing. ESPN already said there will be commercials. People are going to get so pissed off, Duck. So pissed off at that. But what are you going to do about it? ESPN is the worldwide leader in sports for a reason, right? Is that what they say? Worldwide leader in sports. Let's see where we're at today for the show here. Refreshing the screen. I'm not refreshing my own screen anymore. No new subscribers. 19 likes on this video so far. Not too bad, guys. Make sure you're hitting that like and share button, that subscribe button. Marching forward. I don't know how they're going to do it, but there will be commercials. Maybe they do the split screen thing with the commercials where the red zone stays up and then commercial goes in the side box, or the commercial comes up and the screen stays smaller. They'll do something like that. Kind of like what Raw does sometimes. Well, not Raw anymore, but SmackDown. The failed eye test with fastballs is why Stott is now at the bottom of the lineup. Okay? Look, not knocking Sosa. Sosa's playing better. But I still, maybe I'm just biased because I always admit when I'm wrong. Okay? I never have a problem admitting when I have a bad take in sports, right? I don't. But my take that Bryce Stott could be a great leadoff hitter, I'm having trouble letting it go. Having trouble letting it go. I like the kid. He's not even a kid anymore. He's like 27. Maybe it's time for me just to admit that he's just not that good. But I want him to be good. I like the kid. I like his personality. He's just not it. Maybe there's 21. My screen says 19, but whatever. 22 votes, 19, 21 likes, 562 on the subscriber count. Let's go, guys. All in. All in this week. We're pushing forward. Guys, it's a great opportunity for me to remind you guys, we are running a fantastic fundraiser here on the STT Sports Network for raising money for Eagles Autism Foundation, okay? What we are doing, we are selling raffle tickets for $5 a piece. I've got my Eagles football signed by Cooper Dejean and Darius Slay. I've got this A.J. Brown signed autograph photo that is framed. Shh, don't tell anybody. I also have a Brandon Graham frame thing coming in that's autographed. Autographed Brandon Graham merch that's going to get added to the raffle. How do you purchase the raffle tickets? First off, my goal is to raise $1,000 or more. What you do is you Venmo me $5 per raffle ticket you want to Phil Stiefel. And before the Eagles football game on September 4th, Eagles-Cowboys, I will raffle off all 3 autographed items. Again, there is my Venmo. It's $5 per raffle ticket, okay? There's a video explaining it all on the YouTube page. You can check it out. Venmo there, $5 per raffle ticket. All the money raised right to Eagles Autism, okay? Sold a little over 300. Didn't get any sales yesterday. But please, consider making a donation. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's get right back at it. The Phillies don't sign Schwarber. They are crazy, and he should be MVP. He's going to make a strong run. Strong run for that MVP. Yeah, he ain't a kid anymore. I get that. I get that, and it's crazy. The daycare is all grown up. I think I am buying more ticks. I don't like losing. Let me tell you something. I haven't seen it yet, but somebody's sending me a Brandon Graham autographed item to add to the raffle. We'll see. I know what Stott's numbers are. They're not good. I get it. I get it, Rick. I do. He is not playing good baseball this year. He didn't play good baseball last year, and we were told he was just injured. What's his excuse this year? Is he still injured? Some say maybe he is still injured. I don't know. I think they will have ESPN bet commercials with Scott Hansen pushing odds and live bets once an hour. I see a car commercial, I'm out. Yeah, I definitely can see them pushing ESPN bet for sure, Steve. Definitely makes a lot of sense what you're saying there. Absolutely. All these sites are in bed with the gambling books and stuff like that. So, yeah, absolutely agree with you on that, Steve. Definitely a possibility there on that one. Is buy more tickets. I have to go kick in more cash. I haven't touched the football anymore. Because of you, Duck, I am not touching the football. Almost like it's like bad luck if I touch the football. So I'm not touching the football, okay? I'm going to get some white gloves the next time I touch the football. Rick's always the one calling out our negative energy. And he's saying, Stott sucks. I get what you're saying. You're trying to stir the pot a little bit. I'm waiting for a Rick comment of, I live rent-free in your head. That's normally what's next. Stott has only kept his spot because his family is friends with Harper. Maybe there's something to that. Then why is Kepler keeping his spot? Then why is, some of these other players keeping their spots? I'm waiting to buy my raffle tickets till near the end, so my raffle tickets are closer top. Oh, do you think I'm actually ripping raffle tickets? No. This is going to be a random generator, okay? I'm going to punt everybody's names with how many times they buy tickets into a thing, and I'm going to spin a wheel. Spin the wheel. That's how we're doing it. I guess I could attach a number to each person, too. I'm right there with you on the negative on Kepler as well, for sure. Do you want me to actually buy raffle tickets? Then I would have to spend money. I'll buy raffle tickets and stick my hand in the hat and pull them out. I'll dig deep to the bottom, though, Steve. You never know. Look, we're selling raffle tickets through the end of the month of August. So you got plenty of time to buy. Maybe someone else will donate something, too. Who knows? People keep reaching out. So you never know. Kepler hasn't kept his spot. Remember, he was pitching because he was guaranteed a starting spot. Spot, but has been benched a bunch. Yeah, the fact he's even on the roster is the problem. Like Stott, I can see you keep him for a defensive replacement. He's still younger, maybe, whatever. I can see Stott not getting demoted or cut. Kepler should just be designated, kicked out, waived, whatever the fuck you got to do with him. He shouldn't even. Him and Weston Wilson. I know Weston Wilson hit a late home. Did he hit a late home run last night? I remember seeing. Yeah, he hit a late home run last night. There's no reason for Weston Wilson or Max Kepler to be on any major league roster right now. It's ridiculous, ludicrous. Kepler is buying Middleton and Dave coffee every morning. Is that what it is? He brings them a cup of coffee. I don't know if that's good enough. Multiple pay periods. For all to enter to win. Yeah. Exactly. Duck, I'm sending Phil a display box for that football to protect my foot. Oh, are you? You're going to send me the box to protect your foot? I think Duck and Big Al would literally fight to the death for the football. And that's good. That's good for a fundraiser. When you've got things people want, that is good for business. That's what they used to say. Best for business. That's definitely best for business right there. Anyway, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the Phillies. We're talking about Kyle Schwarber. Somehow we got off the positivity of Kyle Schwarber and Jhoan Duran onto the negativity of Bryce and Max Kepler. So let's swing the Phillies conversation back to positive. We're talking the Eagles with their trade for Jacorian Bennett. At least it's a name I can pronounce. What's it mean for the depth chart, okay? For the Eagles. Who's going to start? The poll question right now, Jacorian Bennett's up to 52% of the votes. 17%. That's actually gone up a tick. For Dory Jackson, 26% for Kelee Ringo. Still one person voted other. Not sure who the other is, but it is what it is. I also wanted to talk about something else from Eagles training camp that's been intriguing to me, interesting for me, and that is the connection between Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert. Every single day. We were through 9 or 10 open practices to the media, and every day, the most targets are going to Dallas Goedert. The biggest plays are most frequently from Dallas Goedert. I was looking at Dallas Goedert's numbers. We love Dallas Goedert. We think Dallas Goedert, when healthy, is a great tight end. But even when he's played 14, 15 games, he's never really put up massive stats. Yeah, early in his career, he was playing with Zach Ertz. What if Dallas Goedert stays healthy, even if he plays 15 games, what kind of season can Dallas Goedert have? I mean, he is playing for his next contract. He's only on a one-year deal. This is pretty much his last run in Philly here. By all intents and purposes, it looks like. Jalen Hurts asked for him to come back. Said, be patient. We will figure a way out. Dallas Goedert is having an amazing camp, and I don't know the exact numbers. But the last time I checked, he has been targeted by Jalen Hurts in practice more than anybody else. Now, Devontae Smith's missed a bunch of practices. A.J. Brown is in the midst of missing a bunch of practices, so that helps. But Dallas Goedert's having a special kind of potential season here. Championships are won in the trenches. Always fight for the ball. I like that. Does one person win all three? So if you buy 5 tickets and you win one, the next drawing you'll only have 4 tickets in. So yes, you could win hypothetically all the prizes. If I have 3 prizes and you buy 3 raffle tickets, in theory, you could win all the prizes. If you buy 1 raffle ticket and you win 1 prize, you can't win the others. So it's going to be based off a raffle. So each one, like when Big Al supposedly wins the football, his other raffle tickets he purchased could go towards A.J. Brown or Brandon Graham. So, yeah, that's the way that works there. I demand an audit of these drawings. I'm going to do it live on the air so that there's no hesitation. Adam's going to the game on next Saturday against the Browns. Good for you. Cool. Goddard going to have a nice season. Dude is a beast. Yeah, but how big of a season can he have? What's a big season? Do you think there's a reason why that he's been such a focal point of working on a connection with Jalen Hurts in training camp? It's something that intrigues me. I expect a step back for Saquon, not because of injuries or what, not just because they're going to preserve him. He's not going to, there's a reason why he's only the 8th guy to ever rush for 2,000 yards. He's not going to do it again, most likely. But A.J. Brown's going to catch balls more. Devontae Smith is going to catch more. Dallas Goedert, if healthy, what kind of season are we expecting? Birds could be anticipating the drift of defenses to the outside instead of the middle. That's an interesting perspective to take on it. They're going to try to stop Saquon. They're going to try to stop AJ and Devontae, which opens up the middle for Dallas Goedert, so they're working on that connection for that. Even when healthy, there were stretches last year when Dallas Goedert never got targeted. Like Dallas Goedert, before he got hurt, his post-injury is when he broke out last year. Before his injury, there were games he was having 1-2 catches for 10, 12 yards. So maybe there's something to that. Goedert probably has the best offensive season of his career this year. Let's put a caveat in there if he plays enough games to do that. Because obviously, let's repeat, he missed 7 last year, 3 the year before that, 5 the year before that, 2 the year before that, 5 the year before that, 1. He hasn't played a full season since his rookie year in 2018. So he does miss a lot of games. So there's obviously that to think about. Will the Eagles defense, Uriah, what's up, my man? Will the Eagles defense be as good as last season? I think, and I've said this before, I think there are going to be some early bumps in the road. Okay? I think early in the season, they might barely be through the first 4, 5, 6 weeks. Might barely be a top 10 defense. Right around that 8, 9, 10, 11. But when it's all said and done, by the end of the season, I fully expect the Eagles defense to be ranked in the top 3. I do. So, yeah, I think they're going to be as good as last year. Maybe even better. But you got some young guys like Jalen Hunt that got to step up. Jihaad Campbell, Sidney Brown or Drew Makuba, Jacorian Bennett or Kelee Ringo. There are guys that got to step up. And you got a lot of young guys. Some of them with great pedigrees, some of them with question marks. So I think there's going to be a learning curve with this defense. And the first 5 weeks of the season are extremely difficult. So I think there's going to be a learning curve there early in the season. You think it might be a connection with Hurts and Goedert like there was with Wentz and Ertz when Ertz said, well, I don't know if he's going to go and catch 115 or whatever it was passes at him. I wouldn't go that level. But, yeah, I think that they're gearing up and working towards having a great connection there, for sure. I think the Eagles realize that running the football is their bread and butter. The passing game will definitely open up a little bit more this season than last season. Absolutely agree. You can't expect another 2,000-yard season. You can't. I think max you can expect is 15, maybe 1,600 yards from Saquon. And I think even that is pushing it a little bit, Rick. Barkley will get a little less touches this season because defenses are working to stop the run more. Casey showed that during the Super Bowl. They forgot we had 2 wide receivers. Now the defenses will know you can stop Saquon, but you still got to stop the wide receivers. And maybe that's what opens up Dallas Goedert. Maybe. I think a lot of the offense takes a step forward from last season with them knowing Petula's offense. Yeah, I mean, it's a new offensive coordinator, a new play caller. I'm interested to see how the play calling goes on Thursday. I know preseason games are a very vanilla offense. I won't be looking at the specific plays. I'll be looking at the communication, how quickly he gets the plays in, decision-making in certain situations. That's what I'll be looking at Kevin Petula-wise. But it is still a new offense coordinator, but he has been here for the entirety of the Nick Sirianni era. So they have Sirianni, and Hurts should be on the relatively same page. Eagles defense will beast out again, no doubt. Absolutely. Eagles offense will beast out, no doubt. Eagles special teams will beast out, no doubt. Everybody's going to beast out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely, guys. But I'm looking at Dallas Goedert here. Like, when we talk about Dallas Goedert, we think of him as this elite tight end. You know, he's only had over 700 yards in his career twice. He's only had over 4 touchdowns 3 times, 4, 4, and 5, 3 times in his career. He's only got 8 touchdowns in the last 3 years. He's only got 1,750 yards over his last 3 years. I kind of feel like maybe he hasn't been as good as we think. Now, I think he's uber talented, but he just hasn't been as good as we think. Maybe this is him staying here for one more year on that $10 million or whatever it was contract extension. He's 30, 31 years old. We've seen some big contracts go out to tight ends this offseason. He wants that big contract. Him and Jalen worked out a way for him to stay here, and Howie Roseman too. Maybe he's pushing for a big year. Maybe he's pushing to get targeted more so that when the offseason rolls around next year, that he can get that one big payday he's wanted for so long. Saquon, 1,400 yards, Shipley, 600. That's a lot for Shipley. I don't know about that. AJ, 1,000. Yeah, I mean, saying AJ and Devontae at 1,000. That's not really pushing any. That's not pushing any limits with a prediction. The Shipley 600 yards, that's pushing it. I think that's a lot of yards for Shipley, knowing that Saquon's still going to be on the field for such a high level. A.J. Dillon, I want to see him on Thursday. I want to see him take a hit and then get the ball the next play and see what that first after a hit is like. And before I even commit to him, period. 1,400. Oh, and you're saying total yards too, so you don't even think he's going to have 1,400 rushing yards. You're saying 1,400 rushing and receiving. Yeah, that's 2,000. That's 23. Yeah, I mean, if A.J. Brown's healthy, and obviously he's got a hamstring issue, I'm not worried about it. But A.J. does tend to miss time as well. Devontae did last year. I don't know. Be interesting to see. You are a positive guy most of the time. Got to find a way to stay healthy. Adam, it's the key to every sports team, period. Whether you're the Phillies, the Eagles, the Raiders, the Lakers, the Mets, the Rangers, whatever. The key to being a successful sports team is to stay healthy. Just like Rick, is 1,000 yards for Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. That's so obvious. Staying healthy is so obvious. But something kept, yeah, exactly. Hold on. I'm a positive guy. Both sides, yeah, I love it. Which game of the 25 season does the season pivot? I think that's a very interesting question. I would have to go. Give me a second to pull up the Eagles' schedule. I'm not predicting wins or losses. You know that. I don't do that yet. But obviously the start of the first Giants game is when it gets easier, the schedule. But when does it pivot? Maybe the Rams, maybe beating the Bucks in week 4 in Tampa finally, when they've given us so much trouble over the years. Maybe that's a game that pivots this season going, maybe we start out 1-2 or 2-1. There's some question marks, whatever. Maybe beating the Bucks in Tampa changes the vibe of the season. It reminds everybody we're even more special than we were before. Other teams' defenses could have followed KC run stopping plan well before the Super Bowl. KC didn't allow a 100-yard runner all season. Barkley will still be just as involved and as effective. Absolutely agree. Dylan is here to save Saquon from 3rd and 2 kind of downs. He was an insurance plan in case the tush push got banned as well. Absolutely. But again, he hasn't played a football game since November of 2023. So use that with what you will. You do call it like you say it. Even if you're blind sometimes. I'm just kidding. I think Dallas is Hurts' pet project. Everyone is doubting him, so Hurts just let's prove them wrong. I like that philosophy, Big Al. I like the way you're phrasing it. I do. I think you're right to think that way as well. And I'm not doubting Dallas Goedert. I was just shocked at how his numbers really, truly looked when I looked at them. And we've always known it's about staying healthy for the guy. He can't stay healthy. But there has been an extra onus on Jalen Hurts working on that connection with Dallas Goedert throughout camp. I mean, there are 2 names. So I take pages of notes every single practice. I got pages of notes. There's 2 names on this Eagles roster that show up outside of Jalen Hurts' name, because he's the quarterback, so obviously you see the quarterback's name a lot. 2 positional players, not quarterbacks, that pop up every day in my notes. Dallas Goedert and Moro Ojomo. Maybe Moro Ojomo's camp is why they felt so comfortable letting go Thomas Booker in that Jacorian Bennett trade. Okay? Dallas Goedert, offensively speaking, every day is making plays. Every day is leading targets. Eagles 11-6 regular season, 4-0 in the playoffs. Yeah, that might be my prediction. I'm sitting right at 11-6, 12-5 as I ballpark it, as I spitfire it. And I'm still teetering on that. Because we know, and I know, that Howie Roseman's ever done. Jacorian Bennett is just the first of multiple moves he's going to make. Goddard has a career year this year. I'd love to say it. But what's Goddard's career year? 900 receiving yards, 850 receiving yards. Campbell going to be an absolute monster. And I love how Vic Fangio is trying to keep him humble. He's got work to do at edge. He's got to eliminate the negative plays despite all the good plays. Vic Fangio never kicks a guy while he's down, but he never props him up too high. Vic Fangio loves to say, Vic Fangio loves the compliment sandwich. Oh, he did really good on that play. But he had a couple negative plays he's got to work on. But he's going to be a force in this league. Vic Fangio loves the compliment sandwich. Goedert, like BG, is more likely to get a Lifetime Achievement Award than a single-season accolade. It's possible. I can't see anyone beating the Eagles. Well, they're not going to go undefeated all year long. Roseman has eliminated all weaknesses. Well, yeah, you haven't been around the last couple of days much. I've been hyping up what you've been saying, that the Eagles need an edge rusher. Their weakness at this point, if I had a power rank, because you know I love a power ranking, the weaknesses on the Eagles, it's edge 1, safety 2, maybe still cornerback 3. There's no weaknesses on the offense, in my opinion. Maybe pass blocking. Rick, now I know you're waking and baking more than normal today. Seriously. Like, I want to know what you're on, okay? I want to know what you're on in the morning, okay? Like, K1, can you go do a wellness check on Rick? He might not make it through the day. Like, there's something seriously wrong with this boy. Oh, man. Man, you really got me on that one. Hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. I like to be the one that said I coined the phrase wake and bake, not for in general. There was a radio show of 2 young up-and-coming radio guys way back in the day, and I called them the wake and bake, and then they used it on the air, and then they were told the next week to change their show name because the radio station didn't like that. Justin Goddard, IR, no. I know what you're doing, man. I know, man. We're all having fun. We have fun here every single morning, right? That's why you crazies tune in. Send them some pizza to sober them up. No, that'll just help the munchies. No. But local channel. Well, his middle name is Beer. Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, we're into the final 25 here now. We're keeping right on along. Where are we? We're at the 25 votes on the poll. Bennett is still dominating, and I think I don't know, was it Nooms or was it Rick? Somebody said it early in the show where it might be a little while till Bennett is the starter, but Bennett should eventually become the starter. We're up to 26 votes now. We're up to 21 likes on this video. No new subscribers today. Kind of shocked at that. Really had some good views today. Really thought we'd get some new subscribers, but we're up to 26 votes now on the poll. Were they on the? I think they were on the Fanatic at the point. It was Sean Bryce and John Marks when they used to do a show when they were young guns at the. I think they were still at the Fanatic at that point. Then they had to change their name the next week. I don't even know what I was talking about now. Oh, Jacorian Bennett. It might. I mean, it's early enough in camp where he could win the starting battle week 1, but it's also late enough in camp where it might be too much to learn a new defensive scheme like Vic Fangio runs. And we are literally 30 days from today is the first game. He's got 30 days to learn an offense. Here's the question. With the Jacorian Bennett signing or trade, okay, here's the question. If he is not ready to start week 1, but is making progress to get there, okay, hear me out. Not the starter week 1, but making progress to be it. Do they cut Kelee Ringo or trade him? Make Adoree Jackson the starter for the first couple weeks till Bennett is ready? And then Adoree goes back to being the depth piece at cornerback when Bennett's ready, week 3, week 4, whatever it may be? Or do they keep Kelee Ringo around? Look, Eli Ricks was making plays yesterday. Eli Ricks is getting some hype from Vic Fangio. He makes too many negative plays, but it's been really, really good. He had a nice pass breakup yesterday of Elijah Cooks, who Elijah Cooks is making this roster, by the way. Bennett has been has had really solid numbers in his young career. I posted them on. Yeah, absolutely. And I did a bunch of research on it because I didn't even know who he was when the trade. I'm like, who's Jacorian Bennett? So I know all the numbers. I got his numbers against Jamar Chase and Sutton and McCourty or whatever his name is. I got all the numbers here. But we see what Vic Fangio does with young guys. New. Cooper Dejean missed a few weeks. Sat out most of the first couple of weeks. Drew Makuba might be your starting safety by week 4 or 5. Missed a lot of practice in training camp. Might take a couple of weeks till he becomes a starter. So I'm just going off the previous knowledge of what has happened with young players that missed time under Vic Fangio, that time frame. That's the only reason why I'm saying he's not a lock to be the starter week 1. Not saying he's not going to be starter. I think they brought him in here to become a starter because They're not confident in Ringo and Jackson. I knew J-Roll was only 5'6", finally admitted and disclosed. We ain't cutting Kelee, no matter what, K1. No matter what. You're saying 110% lock. Lock it down that Ringo's on this roster. I don't know if I could say that. Maybe. Okay. I brought it up with Bryce and Marks way back in the day. I think these injuries are just pitch counting with saying a lot of the Eagles' injuries are pitch counting for sure. Zach Bond, 100%. Let me go. Where's yesterday's practice report? Here it is. Bond was out. AJ and Sign. I think some of the guys, someone like Trevor Keegan or Lewis Seen, no, they're injuries. AJ might have a slight twinge in his hamstring, and they're just being extra cautious because of it. AJ Brown ain't going to touch the practice field till next week at the soonest. Okay? No need for it. Okay? Zach Bond, absolutely. They're just protecting him. But some of them are real. Nolan Smith is concerning to me. Had a concussion already, missed 3 or 4 practices, then went down in yesterday's practice and left the field. So did Kenyon Green. No chance Ringo gets cut. He would get scooped up so fast by another team. I didn't say he would get cut for sure. I said get traded. Okay? Because of that exact reason. Do they need an edge? Does another team have an edge rusher that could fill in here immediately? That would swap an edge rusher for Kelee Ringo because they're lacking. I've seen a couple of cornerbacks get hurt in training camp already across the NFL. So some teams short a cornerback have an extra edge that we might be able to help use. Just throwing it out there. The Jacorian Bennett trade tells me that there is a chance. Not necessarily going to happen, but definitely a chance of a Kelee Ringo trade at some point. It's either a Kelee Ringo trade or an Adoree Jackson cut. That's what Jacorian Bennett means ultimately. My Way video is a good watch. I haven't seen it yet at all. Bennett is a depth mood. Can't have enough corners. I mean, in theory, we have a lot of corners, right, K1? I mean, we have Ringo, Jackson, along with Cooper and Quinion. We have Eli Ricks. We have Perry Nickerson. We got Mac McWilliams, who we just drafted. There are a decent amount of cornerbacks on this roster, but none of them outside of Q and Coop are set. And maybe we put too much expectations on some of these cornerbacks because Quinion and Cooper are just so elite, so fast that we expect everybody to play at their level now. Maybe their level of play is making us doubt the others a little bit more, maybe. Does that make sense what I'm saying there? Like, oh, man, we got these 2 young guys playing like this. Why can't everybody do that? Well, no, not everybody's as special as Coop and Q. I'm expecting a big year from Cooper Dejean, obviously. Let me tell you something. And this might be not fair, but I'm expecting a borderline all-pro season. If Quinion Mitchell isn't at the very least all-pro second team this year, I'd be shocked. That's the kind of level of play that I expect from Quinion Mitchell. Quinion Mitchell, in my mind, could be a top 10 defensive player of the year this year. All-pro first team, possibly all-pro second team for sure, and a top 10 defensive player of the year award. That's what the expectations I'm having for him. And I don't think that's that far of a reach. I think he's going to have the opportunity to have 4, 5, 6 interceptions. He's going to be one of the 2 or 3 most lockdown cornerbacks in football. He's not even going to have that many opportunities for interceptions because nobody's going to throw his way. What? No more Jeff Doughton Jr.? Oh, no. Why does everybody always try to throw Sixers stuff into the conversation? Did this just happen or something? Who cares? I know the big thing is somebody tweeted out one of those social media accounts that people are worried that Joel Embiid won't play this year. Oh, shit, Joel Embiid won't play this year. His knee is held together by a needle and thread. No more Sixers talk. Guys, break my heart. When I want to talk Sixers, you guys get upset that I talk such a disastrous franchise. I say I don't want to talk it anymore, and you guys all bring it up all the time. You guys are nuts. I think Bennett, Mitchell, and Dejean will be shut down. That's all three of them shut down. That's crazy. I don't know about all three of them shut down. It could happen. It could happen for sure. 100% it could happen. I want to send you into a stage of grief. Why? I'm being so positive today. Y'all complain I'm not positive enough. I'm being positive today. And you want to bring me down? Once I finally get myself to a high, you want to kick me back down? You know where our Sixers season begins this season? Yeah, maybe. If they can find a way to get rid of some of these overpaid stars, it would be great, right? Stop. I don't even want to comment on the Sixers. Don't want to comment. I'm not commenting. We got a bunch of new people tuning because I just saw a couple more votes on the poll come through. We're not talking Sixers if you're just tuning in. We're not. We hate the Sixers. We're not doing that. We're being positive. The power of positivity. Nooms is cruising for a mute. I can mute you for 5 minutes in the chat. You might get muted. I would never do that to you, Nooms. You know I would never do that. Actually, Rick, I'm always a very positive person in my life. I truly do believe in the power of positivity. Now, I do be negative on this show from time to time to be the counter to the positivity, for sure. Yes, I am more of a realist than a positive or negative when it comes to sports opinions. But in life, I am always cheerful. I am always happy. I never let anything get me too down. Here will the quarterback go if these guys are on the field together? Underneath are a tight end running back, Vaughn Campbell. Campbell's got some work. So that if you want to, I don't want to say negative, but something that Jihaad Campbell has been working on a lot of, and some days are getting better, some days are still a struggle. Jihaad Campbell in coverage, especially against running backs, he's done okay versus tight ends in practice, but Jihaad Campbell has struggled in coverage so far in camp. What? I try to mute mine. She says I don't talk enough. She doesn't succeed, but she tries. I don't succeed in it either. You heard of the secret thoughts become things, power of positivity. You heard of the secret thoughts become things. Absolutely. I'm always look at life half full. Life could always be worse. I've had plenty of down moments in my life, plenty of things not go my way in life, but life is too short, and I truly understand that. If you want to get deep and personal, all right? I've had enough things happen to know life is short. You live in the moment. You think bubbles up all the time. Whenever it's got you down, just follow those bubbles back up to the surface, purist, because that's what we do. That's the way it should be. There's too much negative in the world. Exactly. You do have to implement those thoughts. But if you think it enough, it becomes easier to implement those thoughts. For sure. It is what it is. We're coming up on the final 10 minutes. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you haven't already, share and subscribe and vote on the poll question. Would greatly appreciate when you say something, you're prophesizing it, so speak good things. Absolutely. Philly would riot if Nomar or Reyes made the Hall of Fame before J-Roll. Oh, my God, yeah. Real quick, before we go, because there's a lot of new people, I want to repeat again, the Eagles Autism Foundation, we are running a fundraiser for the Eagles Autism. I'm raffling off this Eagles football signed by Cooper Dejean and Darius Slay. I'm raffling off this A.J. Brown framed photo, and I've got something from Brandon Graham autographed incoming. $5 for a raffle ticket. Sold about 65 raffle tickets, 70 raffle tickets so far. Somewhere in that range right now. The goal is to raise $1,000. How do you buy those raffle tickets? You Venmo me. However much money you want in raffle tickets at Phil Stiefel on Venmo. We will be doing the raffle on September 4th before the Eagles-Cowboys game. About 7:30 here on this channel. We'll be live for the raffle. So, guys, make sure you purchase raffle tickets. The raffle tickets will be sold through the end of the month. So make sure you guys get those purchased if you want. That's why I would always tell y'all to stop surrounding our teams with negativity. You create your thoughts as a mantra, which make you focus on making it happen. Take those chances. You know, and also weed helps a lot as well. I'm just going to say. It helps you live that positive lifestyle. But anyway, we're up on the final 10 minutes tonight. You know what? Before Schwarber hit those home runs, before the Schwarber contract talks came into my mindset for today, Phillies wise, my question was going to be Phillies wise. who leaves the rotation first when Aaron Nola comes up, right? Jesus Luzardo, who struggled early in the game, then settled down later in the game, or Taijuan Walker, who goes tonight for the Phillies? Who gets pushed to the bullpen when Aaron Nola? That was going to be today's Phillies topic. And then the Jacorian Bennett Eagles trade, then Kyle Schwarber hit 2 more dingers and 7 more RBIs. I mean, I don't lie anymore, Rick. I don't. Yeah, basically all those things you're saying there. The original conversation, Phillies-wise, was going to be Taijuan Walker or Jesus Luzardo. Who goes to the bullpen? Phil, you believe in the power of writing down your goals? I don't like writing things down. But I used to. I used to keep like a little packet. I used to have to wear a shirt and tie and a suit all the time for work. I used to write down goals and positive things on index cards and keep them in my pocket. I don't do that anymore. Basically. But there's good in writing it down and reading it. There is. There's good to that, for sure. We're getting way too deep in the final 5-10 minutes of this show. I don't like deep talk. I try to keep the morning show loose and fun. First rule, don't write down your... I didn't know what you're going with on that one. Oh, man. Don't write down your password either, okay? What's your password, Duck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's my luggage password. Oh, man. Anyway. Who goes to the bullpen? Walker or Luzardo? Luzardo's been up and down. Walker's been good. That's right. We are good enough. We are smart enough. And dang on it, people like us. Love it. Password is password. That's a good password. Password. For sure. I'm sorry. I'm psychic. I can see your name and get in your brain. I'm like the bugs from Starship Troopers. I can get inside your brain very easily. Walker to the pen before Luzardo. I agree. Now there is let me see what I did run a poll on this on Twitter last night, during the early part of the game last night. Let me see where the poll is at this point. I'm pretty sure people agree. Yeah, 97 votes on Twitter last night. 80% said Taijuan Walker. 20% said Jesus Luzardo. I was kind of shocked because people have been bashing Luzardo a lot. I think Luzardo, I went back and found all my tweets from when we signed Luzardo or traded for Luzardo. And I tried to tell people were like, oh, hyped about Luzardo. And early in the season, he was pitching like a Cy Young. I'm like, guys, pump the brakes on Luzardo. Luzardo is a number 4, number 5 pitcher. He's a nice pitcher. He's not a Cy Younger. He's also not a bum. There's a reason why the Marlins gave him up for so cheaply. Because he's a solid, okay guy. So I think he's perfect in that 5 spot in our rotation when Nola comes back. As long as Nola pitches well, and Nola pitched well in his first rehab start this past weekend. I think he went 3 shutout innings. I know Rob Thompson said he's going to try to get to 60 pitches in his next start. I think they said at least 2 more starts from him in the minors before he gets called up. Luzardo over his past 2 starts have been really solid. Absolutely. There's been some bad ones mixed in there as well over the last 2 months. Can't go off with 2 starts. You got to go over the last 4 to 6 or 8. He is what he is. He's average. Yes, very streaky. Very streaky. And you know what? When we traded for him, I went through his splits. And even with Miami, he was streaky. He had months of greatness and months of hiccups. I hope so. You know I'm a huge Aaron Nola guy. Absolutely. I hope he was legitly injured and not just had dead arm or something we got to worry about long term, Rick. I'm a guy that wanted the Phillies to make sure they extended him at any cost. I'm an Aaron Nola guy. I'm the one that says Aaron Nola could go down as a top 10 Phillies pitcher of all time when this contract runs out. He's going to be statistically wins, strikeouts, games started, innings pitched, all that. He's going to be in the top 10 of every major pitching category if he stays majoritarily healthy throughout his, what's he got, 5 years left on his contract, 6 years? So Aaron Nola, we need him to be lights out. Will he be? We're going to find out. We're going to learn a lot of whether it was here or here, what the problem was with Aaron Nola earlier this year. I'm hoping it was just an arm issue, honestly, that he healed up and got right so that up here is never going to be a problem. Lineup is top 10 in MLB in runs per game. Starting staff, best overall starting staff in the league. Wouldn't call that streaky. Y'all just get impatient. Fuck yeah, we're impatient. We're Phillies fans. It's the worst franchise in the history of sports. Over 11,000 losses. They've been in the league for over 140 years, and they've won 2 World Series. Damn straight we're impatient. I think we've earned the right to be impatient. Yeah. I think that's something that people don't understand. Phillies fans are allowed to be impatient. One of the worst teams. No, it's not negativity. It's a straight fact, right? Did I say something that wasn't a fact? That the Phillies are the worst team in the history of sports? Can you name another team in any sport? Google cricket, Google the gladiators from Roman Empire times. Find me someone. Find me a team in the history of sports that has lost as much as the Phillies, that has as few titles per seasons played as the Phillies. You can't do it because there is no team. That's why we're allowed to be impatient. That's why we're allowed to be emotional in the moment with the Phillies. Absolutely. But if that works for you when you wanted to, then I forget what, but you also think the opposite of that on other situations. You use that when it fits your narrative. Yes, the Phillies have lost the most games of any team documented in history. Exactly. Exactly. But we can't live in the past, and we don't live in the past. But what we do is the past has scarred people, all right? And that's why we're allowed to be impatient. I think I like that word that you used, actually. I like how you used we are impatient. We're not negative. We're impatient. And we've earned the right to be impatient, in my opinion. Because it's been bad. It's been tough on us. I'm 44 years old. At least I've been alive for 2 World Series championships. How about the past 4 years if you want to live in the past? Yeah, how many titles do I have in the last 4 years? Actually, I've only been alive for 1 World Series championship. I was born after the 80 World Series. We can't live in the past, but you want to live in the last 4 years. Okay. Gotcha. You always get me wrong because you live rent-free in my head. You love it. You love the opportunity to say that whenever you can. I love it. Anyway, all right, final poll results. Who is starting week 1 outside cornerback? We're at the 28 votes. 50% of you, that's 14. Yes, I could do math. Voted Jacorian Bennett. 25% said Kelee Ringo. 21% said Adoree Jackson. So Adoree Jackson closed the gap with Kelee Ringo in the poll there. Other was 4%. Nobody ever said who the other would be, whatever it may be. Guys, please, if you haven't liked, shared, subscribe, make sure you check out the video on the YouTube page with the rules on how to purchase raffle tickets to win these great autographed prizes to raise money for Eagles Autism. Flyers fans have no choice. That is true. They get the title this year in year 4. I know. Oh, my God. How many more times are you going to say it? My God. Arizona Cardinals are arguably the worst team in major sports history. Combined the most losses in NFL history, only 2 titles in 125 years. So anyway, the Arizona Cardinals, 2 titles in 125 years. The Phillies only have 2 titles in 144 years. And the Phillies have over 11,000 losses. No one else has 11,000 losses. So the Phillies are still the worst team in major sports history. By the numbers, it's accurate. Okay. 76ers. What about the 76ers? Ringo and Jackson have been neck and neck during practice. They needed to break the obvious tie. And people feel like, we just got another late vote here. Jacorian Jackson went down to 48. Kelee Ringo went up to 28. Kelee Ringo got a late vote in the poll here as we get ready to wrap this show up. Guys, we got 18 people again. We've had a great amount of people watching today. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Hopefully today's show helps boost that subscriber number today. Phillies have that many losses because they're one of the original 8 or whatever it was. So what? Ringo, baby. All right, Adam Cole. Anyway, guys, it's time to wrap it up. We'll be back to programming note tonight, 6 p.m. Fairway to Heaven. No Jason, as Jackson's got first week of football practice, but joining Steven Fuentes and I will be my main man, Rashad. Great always. We got FedEx St. Jude Championship. So, guys, make sure you tune in tonight, live, 6 p.m. for tonight's episode of Fairway to Heaven. Tomorrow we'll be back. What are we going to talk about tomorrow? More Phillies? More Eagles? Who knows what else? It's a jam-packed week. It never stops here. How many losses? Not as many as the Phillies. And that's a proven fact. Thank you very much. As always, it's always a fun show. There's never a bad day when we're live here on the air on the STT Sports Network. Like, share, subscribe. Guys, it's time to go to work. No. You can drop the comments, but I'm going to bash you for dropping the comments. Everybody have a great day, guys. I got to wrap it up. Go Birds. Bubbles up.